the cloud. Hi, everybody. This is Marie Considine, Executive Director with NAMI Westchester, and I'm pleased to welcome today Timothy Brown, who's with us. Hi, Timothy.
Hi, Marie. Hi, everybody. Hope
Um,
everybody is well.
yes, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so this is a perfect time to have an interview with our friend Timothy to talk about mental health and mental wellness, and also special diagnosis that is bringing up an opportunity for us to have this conversation today. I'll let everyone know a little bit about NAMI Westchester and who I am, and I'm inviting Timothy to join in too. So NAMI Westchester is the local affiliate here in Westchester County, New York, of NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. There are 650 affiliates across the country and 23 here in New York State. So we support, educate, and advocate for people who live with mental health diagnoses, as well as family members and friends. And in May, we do quite a number of things. We do many ending the silence presentations to young people to get them the help they need and identify a trusted adult, learn warning signs of mental health conditions and suicide warning signs as well. We do presentations to corporations and to libraries, community groups. We have our annual walk and many awareness events. So, Timothy, I'd like to introduce you and welcome you because you're a great friend to the NAMI family. And we met a few years ago, and I'm so happy to be talking with you today. Maybe you can take a moment to introduce yourself too, so everybody gets to know you.
Okay. Uh, my name is Timothy Brown, as you heard. I guess I want to say that my journey uh, through mental health has had its ups and downs. My first experience with hospitalization, I was 18 years old. I'm now 60. So it's been 42 years that I have been receiving mental health services. I have to talk about uh, the reality of having a mental illness. It is uh, not always pleasant. Uh, I believe that I can include myself with the rest of the human race. I believe that uh, everybody has their ups and downs or uh, challenges in life. Uh,
Absolutely.
yes, my goal is not to be uh, not my goal is to be seen uh, as and treated as like society will treat anyone else, um, their employers, their co-workers, their children, their wives, their husbands. I don't. I strive not to be uh, separated, but inclusive. I do have responsibilities in order for me to get there. I uh, now know, and for the past, I think, at least 27 years, uh, I know this is very concrete. I know there are certain things I cannot do in life because I have been diagnosed not only with mental illness but chemical addiction very early on in my recovery. I think that brings a little uh, different dynamic, which I'm actually processing and learning more about each day that I live. But the first thing I had to do was actually stay on the medication in order for me to get to a point where I could understand myself and things that I go through as somebody with mental challenges. And I also, uh, to recover, had to stay off the chemical, the addiction, uh, so I could learn more about how it affected me in my youth. Um, Being that I'm older now, I said I'm 60. I will be 61 this year. I believe that I have come to a point of acceptance with the challenges that I face, and that acceptance is really, along with other things, like I said, medication, therapy, and uh, other. I actually use just about every uh, practice in order to, and I incorporate it and I use it purposely for my mental health. I'll explain that in a second. Um, so I find that with a combination of everything, it's not just one thing. Combination. This is what my therapist teaches me. It's a combination of everything that helps me uh, get better. Um, my therapist and the people in my life uh, do not believe in um, giving me the answers. They believe in guidance when I need it. But they let me give me enough independence to know when I need something mentally. Same with my psychiatrist. She actually uh, lowered, and she is lowering my medication at a very gradual rate. And we have a 10-year plan. See, I don't do things on my own. I connect and I let the people, the professionals, I work with them, and we make decisions together. So a 10-year plan that we have is that I will be in complete remission through therapy, and that uh, 10 years from now, I will be completely medication free. And my doctor believes that it's possible. So because he believes, I believe. Um, and I trust her and my therapist as well. I have a therapist. I've had her since 2017. Uh, I've really uh, uh, gotten to know her, and she has gotten to know me as well. Uh, and ironically, most of our conversations, she barely says a word. Um, and but uh, I basically let her learn me, not my symptoms, but learn me. And with that trust, I am able to know when I'm getting agitated or paranoid, having delusional thoughts, a whole lot of things go on. But the thing about it is, I understand that nothing uh, lasts forever. So if I'm having paranoid thoughts, uh, I don't become afraid. I become aware. That's different. Um, and when I'm having paranoid thoughts, or I intuitively, my body, even in my body, I feel uncomfortable. Something's like not right, and
Mhm.
uh, and I'll tell her, and then but she doesn't diagnose it. She gives me solutions. We work together. That's one thing I've learned. I've learned about solution based therapy. It's not dependency.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that has been like the most impactful thing in my life. Um, Also, or on the other spectrum about mental illness, chemically addicted. I spent many years when I in recovery. I have actually this year, come December, I'm not going to look ahead to the future, but I want to say last year in December, I've actually uh, uh, achieved uh, 28 years of sobriety and clean time. Uh,
That's wonderful. That's a huge accomplishment.
yes, it is.
That really is. That's a lot of hard work. I know. I know. And you've shared with me that there have been so many people in your life and so many factors, professionals and just regular everyday people in your life who've been that family for you that really, and you use the word connection, right? And it's having those connections and having that support. Um, and I know that that's what leads you from, those harder days into recovery. So you having that co-occurring disorder, that dual diagnosis of the dependency and the mental illness, um, makes it doubly hard, right? Because there are additional
I
challenges,
know at this
right?
point, it's like putting on my underwear. It's not a struggle. Uh,
Mhm, mhm. Well,
uh,
you have so many supportive factors, and really, I mean, from my opinion, that's what's led you to become such a wonderful advocate. I first met you a few years ago when I met you one on one, and you were doing your art and you were doing your poetry. And then I heard you speak at a nonprofit organizations with which we work closely, Church for Change. You spoke at their breakfast, and I just was floored with your story and the advocate that you've become, and that you have really become an inspiration for so many other people. And there's one piece of your story that I really would like to focus a little bit on today, um, because I know you live with, these different challenges. But something that you've shared with me, and you shared that morning, was that at some point you started to notice, and I think you mentioned your therapist was one to notice that you had started having some uncontrollable movements, right? And then
yeah,
you got an additional diagnosis
yeah.
called tardive dyskinesia. Would you be able to talk to us a little bit about that?
Um, it was I had I still well, it's not really in my mouth. I used to have like slurring words, but that has gotten a lot better. Basically, because my doctor like completely changed my meds. So I'm only on two, and she does she has reduced both of them dramatically. and I have remained, uh, well, I'm not perfect, but I have generally progressed. There were setbacks, but they always let me know and teach me not to panic when you are experiencing symptoms. This is something my mom always told me, and this is for everything. Not just psychiatry or therapy, but she always told me, because this is a reality. Everybody has to get professional help at some point in their life. This is what I take from her. She said that if something's going on with you, you tell your practitioner exactly what it is to the best of your ability. That's the only way they're going to know or have an idea of how to treat you. So
Mhm.
I take that wisdom everywhere I go.
That is great advice.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is that I one thing that I've learned mainly from being with my therapist so long uh, is not to panic. There are solutions. I'm not going to die. Um, just remain calm and allow me to help you. Um, so that has really been instrumental in my life. And the tardive dyskinesia has actually lessened so much since my doctor changed my medication and lowered it substantially. And right now I get a little like moments, like, but not most of the time it's not noticeable. Most of the time it doesn't happen. I'm
So
trying
what can you talk to me about a little bit about what's the it? What's the it that doesn't happen as much? What was happening?
like it's hard to explain it, and it's very hard to notice unless someone's paying attention to it,
Mhm, mhm,
as opposed to when I was on the other medications. It's like a slight, like a tick almost in my hands. Uh,
okay.
but when I was on the other medications and I was diagnosed with TD, um, I had shakes. Like my right arm, especially, would shake uncontrollably, and that has went away. No, a lot of time. I mean, I understand that a lot of the times when you have the side effects, physical side effects, uh, it's possible, could be, you would have to consult with your doctor to know, uh, to deal with it or treat it. Um,
Mhm.
but for me, it was just a matter of changing my meds. And my doctor was smart enough, she observed me well enough to take that action and know what to do. Uh, so for me, I basically had no concerns. I just, I'm very responsible with myself. And not only the connotation of having mental illness in society, even within the mental health system,
Mhm.
is preventing, preventative, like preventing you from being out of control or uh, even thought processes. This is my experience as a youth. Uh, thought processes, uh, trying to change or adapt to quote unquote norm and
Mhm.
not allowing yourself to think. uh, and be as you are, and then develop and recognize when you want to, not according to treatment, but for you to make decisions as far as what you want to change, and that includes mentally. Um, I, I wrote in one of my poems, I called it thought reassignment, if that makes sense. It's like trying to take a thought and replace it with another thought. It never works. It's counterproductive. The best that can be done is to make the client aware of his thoughts and giving them, allowing them to make decision on how they want to think. But there's no reason, for the most part, to be afraid of how we think. So, I mean, I meet people on dating sites, and then when they realize or when I tell them, they run the opposite direction because a lot of people are very focused on, and they have, I mean, very strong ideas of what mental illness is
Mhm.
without knowing me and assessing me as an individual, and not a diagnosis.
Mm. Mhm.
That's what I grew up. I saw it all. The first um, empowerment movements, uh, peer advocacy. Um, I was around when all that started.
Mhm.
That's how long I've been in the system. And so much has changed. I believe that a lot of us are adapting, self empowerment.
Mhm.
Um, One thing I do on a regular basis is I use slogans and affirmations and apply them to the way I think. Um, I even use prayers as well. And my therapist and the people I work with, um, they have adopted and have incorporated faith-based therapy in their curriculum.
Mhm. Mhm.
They don't reject it; they actually promote it. And do you remember at the conference they had a what you call they had a group, and the title of the group was faith and
Mhm.
mental
Mhm.
illness.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are understanding it more, and they are. At one point when I was growing up, uh, it was completely discouraged. Uh, Doctors felt that if you had any belief system or faith,
Mm.
so that it was detrimental to your mental health, and it was called delusional, and just not real.
Mm.
Meanwhile, they go to church every Sunday. But so I believe that our rights have been more have been uh, have been recognized, and our belief systems as people with mental illness
Mhm. Mhm.
are both have been recognized. One thing I would like to see is that we actually become mentally independent and not ask for permission to be who we are. So
Mhm.
I'm not looking for separation. I'm looking for inclusion. That's exactly what it is. And also, it's a part of self empowerment. Like when you grow up and your parents want you to leave your parents' house, hopefully they give you enough guidance and information where you can take care of yourself. And that's what I'm learning. But that is just a life experience. You can't be taught. But
You've had such a long journey, Timothy, and
absolutely.
you've really touched on all of my questions. I love it because, to quote our program coordinator, Terry Brennan, who has facilitated support groups and manages all of our support group facilitators, they always tell me that you know that a support group is really working well when the facilitator really doesn't have to jump in and do a lot of facilitating. And I feel that way right now. I had a number of things I wanted to bring up to you, and you've touched on all of them, I think. You talked about your journey and your diagnosis and your symptoms and how TD has impacted your life and that you did, experience some stigma and some discrimination, right? And then what kind of really caused you to become such a great advocate. One question I do still have remaining, I think, is and you may have already touched on the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So why do you think raising awareness of TD is important to you?
um, because first of all, it affects your self-esteem. Uh, it affects, of course, you think everybody's watching you. Like like uh, and it can make you. It can affect your mood. Like depression. You can. I mean, I'm not talking about clinically depression, but like you can be self-conscious. It affects you in so many different ways, not just physically. Um, I would say that physically is like the least of your worries, but the mental impact of it
Mhm,
can really, really be devastating. It can
mm,
lose your confidence. Uh, it can make you detach from society. And yeah, so there's so much how it affected me. All these things I'm telling you is how it affected me. Um,
mhm,
but as like I said, as my doctor treated me and started going away, uh, I feel a lot more confidence. I feel more comfortable being around people,
mhm,
conversing with people, sharing with people. Um, so one thing I've learned is that everything is a solution or adds to the solution. When I say that, I mean that, and I'll just give you an example. Last year, it's been over a year now. My therapist, and you see what I was talking about before. She never even advised me on this, but I brought it to her attention, and it got to the point where I wasn't leaving my house.
mm,
So I developed agoraphobia. But when I was ready, I said to my therapist, I said, you know what? I need to be around people. I need to
Good for you.
I need to connect with people. And she immediately the same day emailed the name and the number to a local daycare. Um,
Mhm,
and I went there. It's not like where they take care of you. It's more of a social club for people my age
mhm,
and above.
that's great.
So
Mhm.
I went there, and it changed my life so much. So everything is solution based, but I think that as long as you're doing positive things, uh, things that are constructive, no matter what it may be, um, it will affect your mental health. Uh, and I think that for me personally, I came to a certain point of peace, contentment, self-esteem, all these good things that people strive for. Some people have it naturally, but it was something that I had to incorporate and learn and put it in practice and put it in my life. And that was just a combination of everything. So that if my peers can take something from that, then I feel like I have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose, but it took me years to find it. It really did. But it's never too late. I mean, never too old. Um,
I think you're the greatest. You are so self-aware and you're so open. And I want to thank you for that. And I love all the different points you touched on. I'm trying to take mental notes as you're talking, but there's so many that I just want to write down. So I can't wait to watch this recording myself. But some of the ones that struck me is that um, you mentioned community and you mentioned your faith and you mentioned speaking up to the professionals because they don't know everything either. And you've got to be out there and you've got to be that self-aware person who then speaks up, to let others know what you're going through. Um, and you've gotten the therapy and you've gotten the support, and you're working really hard to decrease the stigma. But you also mentioned trust, that you've really got to trust, the process and the time. I love that you have a 10-year plan. That's inspiring me. I don't know what I'm going to be doing 10 years from now. I want to think about my 10-year plan. But what really is the most impactful for me, just the way you hit me today, is that I'm going to take from it as your motto. And you said you're aware and not afraid. And I think that is so empowering.
Yeah.
That's something that we should all kind of keep in our hearts. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of those tidbits that you shared. And I just want to hear more from you. So maybe we can continue the conversation another time. This isn't our last conversation.
I would absolutely love that, and I look forward to it. Let's make it happen.
Thank you, Timothy. Thank you so much.
Yes. So uh,
All right, so we'll wrap up, folks, today. I don't want to take up too much of Timothy's time, but Timothy, thank you so much for
yes,
sharing a part of you with us.
yes.
I love when you share your poetry at our annual Art Expressions event. That's really a highlight of the year for all of our team. And we do have your books in our lending library that people can borrow from our lending library here at NAMI Westchester. So thank you, everyone, and happy Mental Health Awareness Month.
You made my day.